Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around this beautiful, beautiful world. Today we're going to talk about what is next after writing your TEDx script. So stay with me. I'm back with full power as I was sick, gosh, for like 10 days, lost my voice. As you know, from last Tuesday, from the last episode, it was a big struggle, I can tell you. But today I've got my voice back. I'm still coughing. You will have to deal with my coughing. Let me know where you're watching it from down in the comments and how you feel. Happy Tuesday as we moved all the Friday live podcast to be now on Tuesday, 1 p.m. UK time. And I don't remember what is your local time. So tell me where you are locally and I will try to tell you what time is in your local time, but well, you know better than me actually. So what is next after writing your TEDx script? This is a question what I got a lot. And usually people is like, well, it's kind of logical, right? I need to start memorizing my script, but oh my God, oh my God, I've got so many things going on and life, of course, kicks in. It's not just TEDx in your life. I'm sure it's not just like, let's just sit down and memorize the script. By the way, sitting down is the wrong action. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, and let's just dive deep into what is next after writing the script. If you're thinking that the next thing is actually to start memorizing, actually, you're missing one step. So what that step is 2 checks what I want you to do before you start memorizing, because you need to make sure that you have your final script. The last thing what you want to do is to start memorizing a script which is not your last version. Okay, so what are those 2 things to check before you know that you've got in your hands your final script? The first one is to make sure when you read the script, you have to make sure that you do speak the language of your audience. If you did not write down and decide who is your audience, it's a really important decision, because your script really needs to speak to those people. Now, if you're an experienced speaker and you constantly speak to that audience only, it's kind of comes natural. Still, I want you to sit down and write down who exactly is your audience. And then when you read the script, ask yourself the question, is there any other way to tell what you're saying in your script in a better way for that specific audience? Not just for some people out there who have problems, and I'm tackling these problems with my TEDx because I'm giving them brilliant idea, which is worth sharing. It is, do you speak that language? Do you use the words what your audience is using all the time in your script? Because this is the way how you connect your script with your audience. By speaking their language, by using the same frames and the same way of describing what is going on in their life, what is wrong in their life, whatever your topic is. The check number 2, what I want you to do is to ask yourself this question: can you shorten your stories and leave only the most relevant part of your story to your audience and the topic? So we all know that you can tell the same story in very different ways. TEDx is very limited in time, which basically means that in a very short period of time, you have the chance to tell your story or stories, usually stories, plural, because you're going to tell more than one story. How you take the fluff out of those stories is exactly asking this question: can you shorten your stories and leave only the most relevant to your audience and topic parts? So think about what is not relevant to your to your topic. Sorry, what is not relevant to your topic, and take it out, make it shorter. Then make sure you put me next to you. I need to know where you are in your story. Yes, it does relate to your audience because this is the way how your audience is going to be together with you when you start saying the different stories. What do you see? What do you smell? Who is next to you? How you look like? How you feel? What are the emotions going on through your mind? You don't need 5 minutes to explain what I just said. You just need literally 2 sentences. But those two sentences are so important for your audience, because this is the way how your audience now is together with you. They see the same what you see. They feel the same what you feel. They hear the same what you hear. And they know who is around them. They know also the time. Is it October 2022 and I'm sitting and doing my the Red Dot Speaker Star podcast on Tuesday, which goes every Tuesday at 1 p.m. UK time. Is it that time? Because the moment when you say also the time and the year and the month, people subconsciously straight away start thinking, what was I doing at that time when you, the speaker, is doing this, what I was doing in my life? It's not a comparison. They're just trying to figure out, like, subconsciously, like what was going on in my life. But because your story is going to take them and literally forget what they're thinking, they're directly there with you. Okay. So another elements you need to check and shorten is everything which is not related to your topic. So if you start talking about the level of the green of the leaves of the trees around you, that's not relevant, regardless what topic you've got. Unless it's something about nature and it's like the trees and it's like the green level of the trees, I can't see any other relevance. So take everything which is not relevant, and leave only those parts which are relevant for your topic and speaking the language of your audience. Now, of course, the next thing what you can do is to start memorizing. Now, I'm going to help you with few tips, as I've been crazy about neuroscience. As you know, I've been studying neuroscience and how the brain works, how the body also works. For the past, I don't know, 4 years now, 2019. Yeah, 4 years now. Wow. It has been a long, well, actually more than 4 years, never mind. But it has been a long journey. So before I give you a lot of tips how to memorize effortlessly your script, I want you to put in the comments how you're doing, where you're watching it from. I don't see comments right now. It could be because time to time I've got issues and I don't see comments. Could be because no one is watching. I don't know. This is the second time when I'm doing the live on Tuesday. So I don't know how it's going. So let me know if you can hear me well and you can see me. I didn't do that check. Do apologize. It wasn't on purpose, but I hope that you've been hearing me. Okay, now start giving you a lot of tips how to memorize. The first question what people ask me is how long is going to take you to memorize your script. This is very individual. Okay, I've got mentees which literally block the last 5 days before their TEDx day. And this is the time when they practice. They don't do anything else. They barely do any kind of work. They just practice and memorizing the script. Because what they say is that if they start memorizing it too early, to the time when it's their TEDx day, they're so bored that they don't want to get on stage and sound bored, right? Which I totally understand. If you're one of those people, then do the same. Block the last 4 days. Don't do other work. Obviously, do other activities. If you only do practicing, you're gonna go crazy in your mind. But go for walks, meditate, read books, anything that is gonna take you away from learning and then put you back straight into memorizing the script. Now, I've got also people who cannot memorize scripts that easily, and they need like 2-3 months. I had a few clients who it took them about 3.5 months just to practice. And I gave them the same tips what I'm about to give you. So I want you to have a pen and paper and learn, first of all, the 3 best ways to practice. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself this question. which kind of memory is the strongest one? Is it the visual memory you've got? Is it when you listen to something? Or is it when you speak out loud? Okay, these are the three types of memories: visual memory, listening, and then speaking out loud. If it's a visual memory, what I want you to do is to print out your script with big enough letters, okay? And when you start practicing, I want you to literally just stand up, never sit when you practice. Stand up and start reading throughout your script. The first thing what I want you to memorize is actually the sequence between the different parts. So story 1 is one part, story 2 is another part, story 3 is another part. If you have jokes in between, jokes are different parts. If you've got like something important, like key phrases to be memorized in between the, the different stories, then put them in that sequence. And I'm going to call it sequence page. So on one page, I want you to handwrite, because handwriting is always super potent memory in your mind when you write and when you read it after this. So write down on one page just the sequence between the different parts, and then memorize the sequence first, and then start memorizing the whole script. So memorizing sequence is always the first thing that comes. Now, we're still going with the very visual memory. Because you've got visual memory, you already know the sequence. Start reading your script over and over and over. And I'm going to tell you in a minute when that is the best time of the day or the night to read it. But by reading it, for example, I've got very visual memory. But when I read something, I can tell you that is that part of the left side of the book, and it's the bottom part, the middle, or the top part. I can tell you visually where it was. When I do a script, I can tell you which part of the script that paragraph is. Okay, so do use your visual memory to start visualizing the text, and then you're going to start be able to producing it. Now, even you've got visual memory, I need you to speak out loud, because speaking out loud is different from thinking. The thinking brain and the speaking brain are two very different brains. Okay, the two different parts of our brain is responsible for thinking, and it's a different part of the brain which is responsible for speaking out loud. So even you've got visual memory, I want you to speak out loud. When you read your script and memorizing it, I need you to speak it out loud. Even when you memorize the sequence, I want you to speak out loud. Now, this was the visual one. If you're really strong with speaking out loud, do exactly the same with visual, because by speaking out loud constantly and reading over and over, this is when the people who have very good speaking memory is because they manage to listen themselves. It's the cycle in their brain. So if you're one of those, you've got that full cycle. You're speaking, you're hearing yourself, and you're memorizing. That's why your speaking memory is so strong. Okay, so speaking out loud first, the sequence between the different elements of your script, and then speaking them out loud. So start practicing speaking out loud your script. The last what I said was hearing. Now, if your memory, the best memory you've got is when you listen to something, what I want you to do is this, and it's very important. I want you, once you finalize your script, I want you to take your phone, use one of the options. Every smartphone nowadays have that, an audio recording. So I want you to record your voice speaking, reading your script in a slightly slower speed than the way how you usually speak. The reason why is because after this, when you start listening to it, that's going to be if you're reading it with the same speed as you speak, that's going to be way too fast for your brain to start memorizing it. That's why you need to literally tune the volume of like the speed down, like one idea down, and then start recording it. Now, these are the 3 best ways. So record yourself if this is hearing, record yourself and start listening to yourself. And when is another question. So I'm going to cover it in a second, because I've got 2 tips that's going to make your TEDx absolutely amazing experience. The tip number 1 is to create a fake dot on your floor when you practice. So regardless if this is visual, if this is speaking out loud or is hearing, I want you to use either sellotape or masking tape, or regardless how you call it in your country, because I know America does call it different way. I think it's masking tape in America. If you are living in America, put it in the comment below how you call the sellotapes or masking tapes. Masking tapes in England is the one which is like a paper tape, and we use it when we do the paintings at home, so we can put it so we don't put paint all over the windows or doors or any of those. Anyway, use a masking tape, paper tape. Make a fake round dot at home and make it about 2 meters. Okay, why? Because once you're on the real stage, on the real dot, you're not allowed to leave the red dot carpet once you're on stage, because if you leave it, you're going to be outside the range of the cameras. Okay, so what I want you to do is, when you practice, I want you to stand right in the middle of your fake dot at home. And when you practice, the reason why I'm saying put a sellotape or a masking tape, because I want you to use your peripheral visions as you're standing and you're reading it or practicing. I want your peripheral vision to constantly check where you are inside that dot, because your body is going to feel super restricted. It's going to feel restricted day 1 of practicing, day 2 of practicing, day 3 of practicing. Somewhere around day 5, it's going to actually feel like you're owning the red dot, the fake red dot, okay? But you're going to absolutely own that space. That space, again, usually is around 2 meter diameter. But I need you to own that space at home, as that this is your practicing fake red dot. Because what's going to happen if you use that tip and you start practicing at home, when you are on the real stage, on the real red dot carpet, and once you stand on that red carpet, you're going to be in your full power, because you own that real carpet red dot, okay? You're going to own that space. And your body, instead of feeling restricted within 2 meters diameter, your body will be like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I can do 1 step this side, I can do 2 steps this side, I can go back in the center with 1 step right, I can go back in the middle of the red dot, I can stand on the very front of the dot. I know, the body will be like, I know what I'm doing. Okay, this is exactly where I want you to be when you practice. Don't just practice like lying down and like just before you go in bed and at some point falling asleep. Don't lie yourself. This is not practicing. Practicing is to stand up in your fake dot at home and make your body work for you, okay? Because it's gonna feel constricted, like really limited. So the second tip, okay, I promised 2 tips. Practice only at the time of the day when your brain is most active. So let me give you this tip. If your hearing memory is the best one, I want you to play your voice recording every morning, if it's in the morning when your brain is super active, when you're brushing your teeth. If it's only in the morning as you're super active, Do play it in the evening when you brush your teeth again, only because the more you play that audio recording of yourself, the more your brain is going to practice. However, know that your brain is going to memorize the text in the morning because that's when the brain is active. The reason why I'm asking you to also do it in the evening when you brush your teeth, or you're driving in the afternoon, driving back home from work, you're on the train going to work, or you're on the train going back to work, any of those, or walking around the forest. Your brain is going to memorize only at the time when it's most active. The rest of the time is only to plug it and to literally plug the subconscious mind working for you. Because even your brain is not active, your subconscious mind is constantly active and is collecting information from outside. So the more often you're listening to your audio recording, the better for your brain and the quicker you're going to memorize it. If it's reading, the reading memory, then start reading it at the time when your brain is super active. You can read it outside those hours, but it's exactly the same. You're going to only read it. You're going to be like half asleep, tired, frustrated. Your brain is going to start thinking about something else. Do read it once and finish, right? Don't overdo it, because overdoing it means that you're going to get bored completely. And that is not the idea of your TEDx experience. The idea of your TEDx experience is to fully enjoy yourself, okay? So think about when you're most active. Is it in the morning? Is it just before lunchtime? Is it in the afternoon, early afternoon? Is it late afternoon? Is it in the evening? Is it in the night? For me, for example, I can share that in different parts of my life, my brain was active different times. Like when I was a student, I'm allergic to coffee, so I wasn't one of those people who would like live on coffee and like drinking, I don't know, 20 coffees a day. That wasn't possible for me. So I really had to get to know my own brain and my own body, and study for my exams in the university only at the time when I was active, because I knew that outside this time it was like completely pointless. I would go out, I would go like play street ball, like go for drinks, any of those. But I didn't study because I know that I knew that it's going to be more frustrating than anything else. So use the same. Like right now, I'm most active in the morning. But if I need to switch to nights and push my brain to be super active during the night, then yes, I can still do that. So think about that. Like when you're mostly active brain wise, not activity wise, two different things, and then practice at that time. Put a yes in the comments if all this what I said is super valuable for you, and you did absolutely enjoy it, and you learned something new today, and I gave you a lot more new tips and ideas how to practice. Or put a no and put no, and then let me know what I can explain again in a different way. Thank you so much for watching. I still don't see comments, which is perfectly fine. I'm sending you a lot of love and a lot of energy wherever you are around this beautiful, beautiful world. I'm going to see you next Tuesday. Have an amazing and super successful week ahead. See you next Tuesday.